you're not trained properly and you don't know how to go out and gather business in a consistent manner, you're being set up to fail. If you're planting seeds all throughout the state that you're working in or the region that you're working in, it's just a matter of time until those seeds grow into a very fertile crop, which you can then harvest. Alrighty guys, another big day ahead. Looks like we've got a couple meetings with some larger referral partners south and east of Plainfield. So both of these referral partners have got books of business that are relatively large and opportunities that should be 6 and 7 figures at a time. So excited to meet with these two different companies and see where we can provide some value and learn more about how we can help one another moving forward. This time of year, I would say that the biggest thing that you should be focusing on before roofing season actually starts up is building up that referral network. Individuals that can help you out with getting you up on roofs and getting you some solid opportunities and, for you to reciprocate accordingly. So for the new guys, a lot of people are just starting out, struggle with this. They're told, hey, just go bang some doors, go knock on some doors and quote unquote make it happen, Here's some contracts, get some signatures, and you're throwing a couple t-shirts and a couple business cards and a couple blank contracts in order to kind of just quote unquote, like I said, figure it out. And there's a reason that, 50 to 80% of the industry drops out of this whole thing for that reason, If you're not trained properly and you don't know how to go out and gather business in a consistent manner, you're being set up to fail. And I can tell you that since I've jumped into this business, I've seen more people come in and leave in less than 45, even 60 days than you'd want to believe. It's kind of unreal how poorly some of these individuals are trained up and taught and the methodologies that are, brought to them in order to quote unquote succeed. So that being said, I would say that, building out your name and your brand and your reputation is going to be key. And with that, planting as many seeds as you can and as many pastures as you can. So market to market, you could be getting a ton of referrals from other markets. That's not going to be effective at all. You're going to have to look at like a setter closer kind of setup where you've got somebody that's basically going out and knocking on your behalf, and then you're coming in and closing the contract shortly thereafter. And then in other markets, you can't knock at all, and it's all just relationship building. So you've got to be branding and marketing on a professional level. Like I said, in Illinois, March, you're really not getting on a whole lot of roofs, so building out your strategic referral partner base is key in the winter months. And if you can do that, then the expectation is that you'll have a really solid season where if you're taking care of your people, they're taking care of you. On to this first meeting, we'll see how it goes and we'll go from there. All right, good morning guys. It is Thursday, March 5th, and it is rainy, overcast. Looks like it rained about an inch or two last night, so puddles everywhere you look, but horrible weather for roof inspections, but we're still gonna go knock one out. I've got a DJI drone that I'll fly up and over this property. Looks like it's about an hour and a half north of here, so we'll go check that out. I know the homeowner mentioned that they've got active leaks and some visible wind damage, so get an estimate prepared, emailed over to him hopefully by the end of the day today, and then offer to get whatever areas leaking watertight until we either do the job in early spring or opts to file an insurance claim with his carrier and is then approved. So we'll see what happens. I'll post a bunch of photos and B-roll of the drone photos and maybe a video, depending on the access and everything like that. So other than that, gotta head over to the office and grab a moisture reader for a flat roof inspection that I've got scheduled tomorrow. That's another referral, so we'll go check that out. That particular building has active leaks, and it sounds like they've been ongoing all winter long. So the tenants in that property they're spent. They've been having to deal with leaks inside of their living space all winter long. So we'll get that one looked at. It sounds like it's a 40-foot access with no roof hatch, which is not fun. I typically try and stay away from anything up and over 30 feet for access, just because the ladders that you use that high up, they become pretty wobbly, and it's just kind of a little bit sketchy. So I've used a 40-footer, and I've gone up to a third story before. I've used a 60-footer to go up 4 stories or 5 stories, and that was sketchy. That ladder was so heavy. It took like 3 guys just to set up the ladder. But yeah, anyways, that's what's on the docket for tomorrow. Separate to that, I've got to follow up with a couple different proposals that I've sent out over the last couple days. In particular, that roof proposal in Manhattan, and then multifamily opportunity over in Plainfield. So see what happens. Hopefully this weather kind of improves, because it's just abysmal right now. So see what happens. We'll go from there. All right, we're out in Lakeville, Illinois. Got this roof inspection here. Homeowner's reporting some wind damage, so we'll get it checked out. There's some moisture on this roof still, and it's relatively steep pitch, so I'll fly the drone up there and see what's going on. Just wrapped up with that inspection. I'll drop some B-roll on it. A huge home right on the lake in Lake Villa, so got some really nice photos. The water has fog that you could cut a knife through right now. So pretty cool to be in the area and seeing that as the day's just getting started out. But funny enough, I accidentally initially inspected the wrong property. So I set up my ladder on the wrong house, and I got up on the roof and realized this is a brand new roof and there's nothing wrong with it. And then I double checked my notes to find, hey dude, you're on the wrong roof, wrong address. And sure enough, 4 and 8 versus 8 and 4 were literally one house down from each other. So no harm, no foul, I guess. I'll live to fight another day, but I'll post a bunch of photos of the inspection. Likely we'll go retail, because that particular homeowner has a discontinued shingle that looks to be about 20 years old, and it's no longer manufactured, and he's got a couple different areas that are struggling in terms of missing shingles, as well as improper installation, as well as an active leak. So see what we can do for him this early spring, and we'll go from there. How we doing, guys? It is Friday the 6th of March, and we have an interesting day ahead of us. It just rained a majority of the night again, so back-to-back days of rain, where it makes roof inspections really tough to schedule. We're supposed to have a flat roof that was a referral with an active leak that we're gonna go check out. The referral partner specifically requested repairs versus a roof coating, so we're gonna have to reschedule that one for this upcoming Monday, which means that Monday is pretty stacked. We've got I believe it's a 12 building inspection, and then after that I've got a 3 building inspection, and then after that I've got that 1 building inspection that I just mentioned. So super busy day on Monday, super amped up. Separate to that, today calls for a 5 to 10% chance of tornadoes, high wind, and hail in this part of the state of Illinois. So it's overcast now, it's about 52 degrees. These storms are supposed to start rolling in the next 2 to 3 hours. So we'll see what happens with that. Honestly, when you've got this much moisture from the night before, the atmosphere just doesn't have enough energy in order to produce strong, viable hail-producing storms. So I'm not all that excited for today's storms. Don't really think that there's going to be a whole lot that comes from it. But this upcoming Tuesday, it looks like there's going to be a pretty solid chance. They're already projecting a hatched risk in Chicagoland. Looks like highs in almost 80 degrees. Which is insane for, second week of March. But anyways, we're already getting into our active weather phase, and we've separate to that, we've already got a ton of retail opportunities rolling in. So this is an excellent start to the season. As I'd mentioned before, if you're planting seeds all throughout the state that you're working in or the region that you're working in, it's just a matter of time until those seeds grow into a very fertile crop, which you can then harvest. So do what you can in order to stay busy when you've got, inches of snow or rain patterns like that are coming through today. And that will basically directly correlate to a strong track record of success in the future. So keep following, keep liking, keep subscribing. If you can, share it out. I know that this is a small channel. I'm barely even getting 5-10 views on these videos. And frankly speaking, I'm investing quite a bit. I just ordered a DJI Osmo Nano, which will serve as like a GoPro when I'm performing my roof inspection, so you guys can get a little bit more of a granular understanding of what I'm looking at, rather than just me walking around with a cell phone trying to do 2 things at once. So excited to continue investing in this channel. I hope that with time, things will translate to, views, subscriptions, and engagement. So at the end of the day, I'm just looking to try and track my daily activity and essentially vlog my daily life so that I can look back on this one day and be proud of what it is that I'm promoting within this industry, as well as all of the effort that I'm putting into carving out a good life for myself and my family and everyone around me. So make it a great day, and we'll go from there.